Life has changed dramatically in the last several years in our community, which is the size of the state of Rhode Island. Through the years, Southwest Florida has experienced a global pandemic, a rising opioid and suicide epidemic, 2 catastrophic hurricanes, and the physical and emotional wreckage collectively left behind.
We're in the worst mental health crisis that we've ever seen in Collier County. And David Lawrence Centers for Behavioral Health is providing solutions to address those needs in real time in our community and growing to meet the needs of a growing demand for these services in our community. When last polled, 71% of parents indicated that they were concerned about their children's mental health. In every American classroom of about 30 students, there are 6 students that struggle with a serious emotional issue. 80% of them are not receiving any care. So recently I heard somebody talk about the war on drugs, which we've heard that catchphrase before, but it was put in a completely different context. We've lost 67,000 Americans to the war in Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Last year alone, we lost 107,000 Americans to the opioid overdose epidemic in our country.
We've got so many broken families out there. We've got so many hurting people. We may think that we don't know anyone that is struggling with addiction, but I dare say that every single one of us is a lot closer to it than what we realize. I was very quickly headed to losing my children, my marriage, and the respect of everyone. And then came the suicidal ideation because I truly loathed myself.
So one of the things that David Lawrence Centers is doing is we're working in the community to raise awareness and decrease stigma and try to help the community better understand what are the signs and the symptoms so that we can get early identification of these issues and then early intervention, because we know that makes a big difference in the short and the long-term prognosis and treatment.
My interest in mental health first emerged when we started having issues with my son as he was in his first year or 2 of college. Things were going awry. We thought it was bad behavior, and then we realized it was something much more intense. We sought out professional help, but there was a time when he was suicidal, and I couldn't imagine, but for one more step, it getting any worse. And the conversation I had with my son was, we don't want you to hurt yourself. We're doing everything we can. We love you. But my request is, if you get to that point, make sure I find you first, not your sisters, not your mom. And that's a tough conversation.
Wake up, ma'am, please. Ma'am, please wake up.
When I first came in to David Lawrence Center, I felt immense amount of guilt, shame, stigma, and uncomfortable in my own skin, low self-confidence, all of that, right? And I just remember walking in and being received and welcomed like I was just any normal person, and I was not expecting that. I was expecting to be treated like a criminal, and just not a good person.
Mental illness and substance abuse don't discriminate. In our community, 1 in 4 individuals will be affected by mental illness. 1 in 7 will face challenges with substance use.
I was homeless, jobless, lying, cheating, steal, anybody I knew that I could tell a sob story to. And then I got evicted. And for about a month after that, I was sleeping in the woods with my dogs. At that point, I had both of our dogs. I ended up in a dirty, nasty Motel 6 in Orlando. And I finally had enough and
was laying there with my dogs and came to the conclusion that, I don't think this is where I am supposed to be. You know, college degree, owned my own home, did my own thing, and that's where I ended up.
People often say to me, you must be the most depressed person in the world because you see such hardship and tragedy and challenge each and every day. And I actually turn that completely around and say that I am blessed to do what I do because I get to see recovery happen each and every day, and that's a real blessing to be part of.
Because I assume for many people challenged with mental health issues, they feel like they're weak, that in some way they're inferior. And the reality is, I know for my son, he's the strongest person I ever met to overcome those debilitating mental health challenges. It's not easy. It's not for wimps. You gotta be tough, and you gotta be supported. You gotta have love. You gotta have the community, your family, and the mental health care professionals.
So September 15, 2011 is the day that I came in and got sober here at David Lawrence Center. In the past 12 years have been more than I ever expected. I didn't realize that being sober could allow so much growth and should really provide so much for someone who came from such a dark place.
I started as a client, and now I'm an employee here. And DLC loved me until I learned how to love myself. And that's been my experience. And now it's like the coolest part, because now I get to offer that love to people that were right where I was and didn't know how to love themselves either. And I get to be the person that helps teach them how to love themselves.
The David Lawrence Center system of care, I think, is a well-oiled machine. From the moment you call on the phone, triage, understand what your next steps are, to walking through the front doors, everybody is welcoming. Nobody looks at you with judgment. Everybody seems to just genuinely care about your success and your life, and being able to continue on in a happy, healthy way. The help that I received from the David Lawrence Center just laid the groundwork for me. I can't imagine where my life would be right now without the David Lawrence Center. I would say that I received hope. I received the hope of knowing that my life could turn around, and it would probably look very different, but it would be better than what it was.
The reason that I supported David Lawrence Center is because they supported me. I know when I couldn't afford to come here, they supported me. So the donors, and I don't know how it works. I honestly don't know how it works. About 38 days of my time was spent here with food and groups and going out to meetings and exercise and therapy and one-on-ones, you know, so they supported me and all those people and all that money that it costed for me to be here. So I feel it's a debt of gratitude, and something that I have to do to continue to pay back that debt is participate in what's going on here at David Lawrence Center, be an advocate for the David Lawrence Center, and carry that message of that if you're like me and you can find a way out like I did, it's my responsibility to help support those who supported me.
Now I'm a nationally certified peer specialist, and that just, you know, is the amount of hours that I've put into the profession. But I'm serving today as a substance use outreach specialist, which I feel being a peer in that role is incredibly powerful. I'm just, I'm really blessed. I'm really, really blessed today.